All right. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to today's technical session. And I would like to introduce myself. I am Israel Kalao, a mechanical design engineer here to Mayfair or Unicorn Group of Company, as it may be. And of course, I have experience that cut across the data profession, such as in analytics, in data science, and of course, I'm a generative AI enthusiast. So today, I'll be talking on the subject. You could see the question there: why humanoid robots? I know for some, humanoid robots is not going to be a new thing to them. Maybe they've heard of it before now. For others, perhaps maybe this is the first time of getting to know, okay, what exactly is humanoid? Or you might have heard of robots before, but yet, in the context of it being humanoid, like when you break that word down, you see human to be an essential component of that. So why humanoid robots? Then navigating towards generalist autonomy. Of course, we are looking the whole industry in AI, in robotics generally, uh, headed towards generalist autonomy, in such a way that we could have machines, we could have systems that could depend less on humans to carry out their tasks. Today, I would just like you to have your finger crossed and stay tuned as I navigate you through the process. You've been able to like understand the subject matter, and at the same time, like open you up onto a new world. If exactly you've not been able to you are still thinking, what exactly is this? Of course, maybe some questions will be answered thereabout. So, thank you. So, why Emmanuel? Okay, all right. So, if AI is becoming general, why do we still need bodies? So, I know for some, we started with the question why humanoid robots. So, but before now, like we all know the boss word there, AI, artificial intelligence, for most, it's already become a daily routine. Like most of us can do without maybe using an AI system, such as maybe ChatGPT. I know you've heard that before. Maybe Gemini and other large language model platforms, chatbots, in such a way that you could maybe ask your questions. They become part of our lives in such a way that they enable us, they help us to carry out certain tasks. So, but if AI has become general, they are not very. We begin to talk about like we've seen advancements in AI technology, and these has kind of impacted other subfield, other parallel field, uh, other fields such as the robotics itself. So now that we now have systems that could enable us to carry out attacks, you could have maybe a very a particular question that perhaps maybe you have little or no knowledge about, but yet you just put it into a chatbot and the chatbot is able to give you something that would have taken you years of studies, years of research. So now they become we've had the reasoning models that could think based on the fact that they now have access to large amount of data, based on the fact that there are different architectures, different methodologies that has been developed over time by the frontier companies, and they've enabled us to be able to have such systems that are able to give us an answer with less hallucination. Like, before now, you begin to see problems such that robots answer questions that they did not know, or perhaps maybe they could not give us answer. Like they give you, sometimes they even give you answers when they do not even know what exactly that subject matter is at that point in time. So, but now we've now had an advanced AI. So why do we still need bodies? Why do we need machines that will embody some of this intelligence? So why? I will just push you through. We just try to like navigate through the different concept of the generalist AI. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, why EVI general? Why do we need body? Then again, which is in alignment to the topic, the subjects that we are discussing, generalist autonomy. So I'd just like to bring a good background knowledge to that. So the fact that, when you say something is generalist autonomy, like to large extent, you've been able to enable that system to be able to make choices that independent of humans, they could still carry out their tasks, little or no interference. Because coming to define what robots are machines that can carry out tasks, either maybe they are programmed, they are maybe they are controlled by humans, or they work semi-autonomously, or they work autonomously to perform a particular task. So which means that if most of the things that a generalist AI can do is more of cognitive tasks, I'll be pushing us through this AI system that perform across many cognitive tasks. So the end result of whatever thing the AI platform, the ChatGPT can give you, is still going to be head knowledge. Of course, we know we now have AI agents that will interface with our different softwares, but you and I know that we live in a physical world, and we need to like bring this intelligence in such a way that this particular AI system could be able to like influence our environment. Like I may want uh, no matter how cognitive how sounding AI output is to me, I may want something that will reach out and being able to like influence like some things in my environment. So I'll just go push through that. So the generalist AI is more of mind plus body plus word. So it's not just left to the cognitive level, at the cognitive level, at the intellectual level, but is able to possess a body, then influence, carry out um, a tangible thing in the world itself. So embodied AI agents that act independently across diverse physical tasks. And the core capabilities, we are trying to like draw a contrast between the generalist AI and the generalist autonomy. So they have the generalist AI has reasoning, problem solving, multi-domain adaptability. So like I mentioned, we've seen different advancements. Now we begin to see things like AI agents, like systems that could be routed to like influence some of our repetitive tasks, or perhaps maybe there are things that could even systems that could make phone calls. So with that, you like influencing it or being able to like based on like maybe as an executive or as an individual, you needed something that could serve as an assistant. So we've seen AI assistants working in diverse ways, not just because we've been able to set a rule, but beyond you setting a rule in such a way that you already have a framework. These things this system could through maybe a chain of thought reasoning, some state of art architecture that has been implemented that will enable those systems to be able to like intuitively think and know what is appropriate for such at that particular point in time. Maybe you got an email, and because you've been able, you now have an AI assistant, it could respond to the email based on the way that you would have actually responded. But now going to the generalist autonomy, perception, being able to like receive inputs through maybe some sensory components like IMU and the likes, being able to like perceive, just like the way we have humans, like we have our sense organs. So likewise, these are perception. So the reasoning, which is in par with what you already have in the generalist AI, then the physical interaction in the human environment should be able to reach out and influence this. So likewise, one of the key components, the model. So we've had large language model and visual language model for the generalist AI. But now some of the things that are actually aiding this autonomy in humanoids, in embodied AI, is vision language action in such a way that beyond just the way we've always had it, that we have mathematical models that could kind of, based on the way you've trained them, then they are train the robots, they are able to like perform action. But when it comes to new environments, they may not be able to like perform because they might have not been exposed to such. But now we now have models in such a way that because of the advancement in the VLMs and the LLMs, the parallel feed, we could now have robots taking based on the inputs, text, images, and the perceptive states. It could make decision all by itself. So the examples of generalist AI is ChatGPT, Gemini Cloud, and the likes. So we have the leading guys, the 1X, that's New Gamma, Optimus from Tesla, Digits from Agility, Figure 2 from Figure AI, Phonics for Social AI, and the others. So, but what are the limitations of generalist AI? It's the fact that no physical grounding, risk of hallucination, lack of real-world adaptability. But likewise, there are still challenges and limitations in the journalist autonomy in such a way that if you're able to like figure as an industry, figure out the solutions to this in the energy aspect, the actuation, the safety and ethical concerns. So now I leave this slide with this thought. Journalists they are without the bodies like a mind without a hand. To achieve generalist autonomy, intelligence must be embodied. So which means that we must bring this intelligence onto a physical body. So, okay, so we quickly look into this video. I would like you to stay with me while we actually watch this. I would like feedback if you are hearing or not. So,
Yeah, it's super funny. I really
Right there. How's this? Perfect.
see, that's New Gamma. After it has performed the task, now chilling on the cushion. So we could see that this goes a long way to help in such a way that we could see it functioning in different tasks. So we need we need this kind of autonomy in such a way that when it comes when it's able to like access a particular environment or task that it has not that has not been seen before due to some components which have been exposing us to much later, it will be able to like intuitively know what to do. So autonomy, the ability to act independently across diverse tasks, generalist adaptability beyond narrow application. So we could see that you could see different tasks, it's delivering, receiving grocery from delivery agents, and at the same time doing some chore. Currently what is being displayed, we see it's trying to like clean the window, and at the same time we could see different things that it could actually do. So now, but before we go into that, we'd like to just walk you through the evolution of robotics itself. You know, it started with the industrial robots, like the focus being that, oh, we need robots that could actually help us in the industry, the likes of KUKA. But before then, Unimate was one of the major breakthroughs in robotics. But now, beyond that, we begin to see service robot that can as well collaborate with humans in the factory sector. Likewise, you could see iRobots, the black circular thing that you're seeing there, that it could actually be used to like clean, vacuum your home. But in the 2020s, we could see that like begin to see the advancements in humanoids, like different the likes of course our own Mayfair in the Unicorn group of company, New Gamma, Figure to Optimus from Tesla. So now, why humanoid embodiment matters in the pursuit of generalist AI. So, which is drawing us to our key the key topic. Why does it really matter? Why does it really matter? So, one of the major reason why robots needs to be human, why they're actually very important. Of course, every robot has their own functionality, they have their own domain. But for us to be able to actively have a thorough advancement, a thorough push to achieve the generalist autonomy, because the word itself is actually built for humans. You begin to see the likes of tests, tools, you begin to talk about economics, like the way human beings could easily handle some of these things. Doors, where the door handle is, vehicle, where the vehicle handle is for somebody to actually enter into the vehicle. So which means that if the world is built around humans, then we need robots that will carry that will carry the human form factor to be able to interact successfully. And the truth is, and fact is, um, if we are able to successfully train humanoids to be able to like carry out certain functions like the way human actually does, they are these skills are actually scalable and transferable. So I'll just go through the points. So single platform from AI testing, one body to train, evaluate, and benchmark generalist AI. So an hardware substrate for intelligence. So like GPU accelerated AI. So we could see the fact that GPU enables to fast. It's actually accelerated the rate at which our AI models are being trained. So likewise, humanoid are the physical substrate for embodied general intelligence. So they will facilitate and fast track we heading towards the generalist autonomy. So like I mentioned, scalable and transferable. So skill learning one human can generalize to others. So, you begin to talk about the likes of the robotic arm that is being used in the industry, the industrial arm. So which means that if you're able to successfully train your the emails to be able to carry out, manipulate some things, that means that what it has learned from that will as well be applicable on other systems. So so I would like us to quickly look at something before I begin to like make expansion on the VLA. So this is actually figure 02, doing laundry. So stay tuned.
Hey, Figure, can you fold these towels for me?
All right.
Sure thing. I'll get right on that.
So you can see that for some people considering that that's a trivial task, but it's gradual process. In some years back, it will be hard to believe that robots will be able to do something like this smoothly. You could see how it is folding the towel. Okay. And for some, you may be thinking this is teleoperated. Maybe somebody is at the background trying to like figure like control it. No, the industry have moved to a level whereby this is actually very scalable. So it's using the vision language action. So from receiving through the text, through the voice inputs, through the image inputs, then knowing is stress configuration. So that's what they call perceptive. I'll be opening up like when we look at the architecture that's actually beyond that's working at the background. So it's able to receive all those inputs to know, okay, this is the position of my motor, the actuation, and is able to reach out to make the folding to know, okay, this is exactly the way flow should be folded. Of course, it has been trained. When they have been trained, just like the way we have our AI models these days, that they could perform certain functions likewise. If this is another kind of process, to be able to like successfully fold this. So, all right. So how is it doing this? Is what we call vision language action. So now, they did what brought the industry to this state is the fact that in the parallel industry, when I mean the parallel industry, begin to talk about the likes of ChatGPT, something ChatGPT, Gemini, all those platforms, Meta AI, they leverage. There's a particular thing called model that they are built upon. So these models were actually trained, and we could see how far it has brought us, in the sense that the couples of data, your data, my data, everybody's data on the internet, they've been used to train these particular models. And we've been able, based on that, it has learned the pattern, it has learned, okay, if I'm faced with this certain inputs, I should be able to provide this. So the industry advanced from the LLM, like the breakthrough that was seen in the LLM, and entered into what we call multimodal models. Multimodal models basically that it's not just only text that it could receive as an input, it could receive it could receive text, audio inputs, it could receive visual inputs. Then from there, you can supply it a visual and it's able to generate an output for you. So to start with, why the robotics we're looking at, okay, what can be learned from what has been achieved in the LLM industry, in the LLM, in the VLMs. So the multimodal can as well, you could be, some could refer to that as vision language model. So now, if this has been achieved, why not we have our actuations? Because the human being, we also have joints. I know these joints, for you to be able to reach out to a particular object in space, that means that you need to locomote, you need to move your limbs, your hand or whatever thing, your leg. So likewise, the robot has been trained in such a way that it's able to know that based on this configuration of my hand, based on this configuration of my motor, is able to receive that as an input. And likewise, as what you are saying now, I'm already explaining the vision language action, is able to receive whatever voice command or text that you've actually given onto it. Okay, these robots, can you fold this for me? Can you clear this table? So, it's seeing. So it's receiving that as an input. Then likewise, it's receiving its joint position. So there are two systems that are actually working. So the first is, the one is actually the vision language model that processes the images that is actually seen. And likewise, the diffusion model, which in the case of Helix, because we have different frontiers, we have Helix. Helix is a product of Figure AI, and we have much data. I'll be showing you that of NVIDIA. NVIDIA has their open source, and thank God, NVIDIA actually made both NY and open source. So they are all ending towards the same direction, and is based on two system architecture. That one is able to leverage foundationally the system to work on the vision language model, while the system one actually is a diffusion model, diffusion transformer, thereabouts. So this VLA, and of course, it will only keep getting better as the current parameter. You can easily see a large language model that you begin to see billions of parameters. I think DeepSeek R1 V1 rather, I think it was over 500 billion parameter. I'm not so certain at this point. You can check that out. And the V3, the DeepSeek, the OpenAI reasoning model, O3, and the likes, they are you begin to see the large number of parameters that they have. When we begin to talk about parameters, it's basically when you've trained the model, then it's able to maybe based on for the large language model now, begin to talk about things like tokens. So it has been trained on different tokens, text tokens. For the vision language, we can talk about vision tokens. Therefore, the vision language action now, begin to talk about action tokens and the likes. So we are having different, very small amount of parameter, but as the industry advances, this is the way forward. These are the things that will actually edge us, that will bring us closer to the general autonomy. So I would say that for the unicorn group of companies, of course, we pride ourselves on being having developed the first African humanoid robots. And of course, you begin to see so much more that will be unfolding, even with these our humanoid who may fail ourselves. So in conclusion, because I know perhaps maybe some persons might have questions, you may still be, the question is why humanoid robots? And the takeaway is because they are the closest bridge between AI and our world. Humanoid are not just machines, they are pathway towards generalist autonomy. in such a way that they are able to like interface with the physical world based on the fact that the human world itself is actually built around human. And we need a form factor, something that embodies, that looks like human, that can embody this intelligence to be able to like navigate our world. So thank you for staying through. Perhaps maybe we'll be having question. So I would like to open the floor for question. So if we have question. So we are still waiting. So you can drop it in the chat, um, in the chat if you have question. All right. All right. So thanks so much for joining us today. So I really hope that this has actually pushed the knowledge further. Thank you.